Hey guys, welcome back. Here's another episode of 7 takeaways from the Springboks win against Scotland. I was going to do this last night, but sorry, I had some people here watching the game with me and it made it a bit impossible to obviously go and record there. But yeah, let's go straight into that game. Obviously a very good win for the Springboks, 18-3 against Scotland. And let's give some context to it, first of all. I mean, if you realise that Scotland had been training for this game for months now, they've got 2 weeks till the next game. They could throw everything into this game. You know, they've got a nice long break until their next game in the pool as well. And yeah, there was a lot for the Springboks to lose out of this one and not that much to gain. Well, I suppose other than the victory. I suppose I shouldn't say not much to gain. But there was a lot they could have lost in this game. And what happened was, as we expected, it was going to be a bit of an arm wrestle. I thought Scotland tried to get behind the box defence, but the box defence was awesome. It was incredible on the day, and they really cut off all oxygen to people like Finn Russell and a number of the other backs. Their backline didn't get going. The box forwards were pretty awesome. So, yeah, all in all, a good win. But let's go into the 7 takeaways. So the first takeaway is that the Boks are sort of got 1 foot in the quarterfinal. They've won their first game. They on their way to the quarterfinal. The pressure's now on Scotland to try and beat Ireland to take that second spot. So no matter what happens in the Ireland-South Africa game, unless Scotland beat Ireland, South Africa's pretty much in the quarterfinals. So that was the biggest thing. The win. This was a very tricky game for the Springboks. It was a tough one for them. They could have easily lost it, and we'd heard the whole week the build-up about how Scotland was going to upset the Springboks and how they're going to outplay them, outrun them, everything, and none of that happened. So, and in fact, if you look at the Bok performance, that was so impressive that if you look at what did Scotland actually have, they had. And I know it's going to sound very harsh if you're a Scottish fan here, but in reality, the Boks controlled that game. They outmuscled them, they outplayed them, and I mean, while it was technically a relatively close game, Scotland really didn't threaten the Boks try line. They had 2 good line breaks, which the Boks stopped, and they had 2 very good scrum penalties, which we don't see often against the Springbok pack. So that's what they had, and at the end of the day, the Boks never really felt threatened that they're going to lose that game. You never really got that feeling that Scotland was going to break free. There was always, they were trying, but the Bok defence was always just good enough to stop them. So I think in that way, the Boks will be very satisfied with their victory. They'll be satisfied with what they got out the game. I think they'll be very happy with the result. And even though some people, I see some of the complaints about the kit and all that, and those are all sideshows to me. That what matters is what happens on the field, and on the field 18-3 is, if you told them before the time they'd get a 15-point win against Scotland, I think they would have taken it with glee. So Scotland are a good team. They're still going to play a big part in this tournament, and I just thought the Bok performance was quite exceptional. Secondly, the second point is obviously the Springbok scrum. Now, while Scotland got those 2, it was the first time in a long time we've seen the Springbok scrum being challenged like that. And I'm not going to go into the specifics of who was right and who was wrong in those scrums. Scotland won the 2 penalties just before halftime, and that was a statement from them that they were going to try and stand up to the Boks scrum. But whatever happened at halftime, in the change room with Don Himon, the Boks came out, and they came out with a vengeance. And that second half scrum performance is a warning to all teams out there that scrum performance is going to take a big effort to beat this Bok pack. And at the moment, I think at the moment that Bok pack is so enjoying the scrum contest that hopefully we're going to have referees for the rest of the tournament that allow that scrum contest. And it'll be interesting to see what the opposition come with. Ireland have got a very good scrum, so it's going to see what they come up with in that game. But that's certainly going to be a huge contest between the 2 sides. And so I'm extremely happy with that scrum performance. Some of us quite enjoy the scrum porn, as they say. It's always good to watch. So it was a great scrum performance. Takeaway number 3. Well, goal kicking is still an issue, but that's, to me, obviously Manie Libbok missing a couple of kicks in that game still brings up that same debate about the goal kicking again. The Boks don't have a first choice goal kicker. Faf de Klerk took over in the second half and kicked pretty well. And perhaps the Boks should maybe even just take all the goal kicking pressure off Mani. I think that would help a lot. I think the rest of his play is exceptional. He was man of the match. That no look kick pass that he did for Kurt the Orange's try, man, what a pass and what a kick pass. And that's something special that he does. The Boks are playing much more attacking rugby and flowing a lot better with him in the at 10, and he's really doing well. So I think in one way, if you can try and sort that out, that you take that pressure off him straight away and you give that kicking duties to somebody else, and maybe Faf should kick from the start and we take it from there. But that is a concern, the goal kicking, if it comes to a tight game. We all know that sort of argument as well. But at the moment, while you're scoring tries, Jacques Nienaber had this to say when he was asked about Mani's goal kicking, and I'm also going to put in Sia's clip here. Sia defended Mani as well. So watch these two clips. This is the way the team looks at it. But I agree, if they take the goal kicking duties away from Mani and let him concentrate on his play, I think it might be a better deal all around for us.
Orange. And then you next.
Question for Jacques. Mani missed free kicks today before Faf took charge of it. Is this lack of success a concern for you for the rest of the competition?
Not if he wins man of the match.
If he doesn't?
Not if he wins man of the match.
Thank you.
Sorry, I just want to, on Mani's question with the kicking, like from a player's point of view, this question gets asked quite a lot when he misses kicks. Like, we play as a team, and sometimes you're not good at one thing on the day, but the way he attacked today, the way he took control of the team, how he is a general amongst us, people forget that and they remember the stuff that he does. Faf can kick, Chelsea can kick, there's a lot of guys that we can call upon. So if someone is lacking somewhere, somebody else takes over. It's the same as me. Sometimes I don't know what to call in the game. Dwayne will call, Eben will call, or Mani makes a call. So if someone is lacking somewhere, somebody else picks up for them. So he's not going to be good at everything every single day. There's sometimes some fly off, you have to hide them, they can't tackle. He tackles there with us. So you can't have everything on the day. Sometimes you lack somewhere. That's why we work together. We don't stress about it. If he misses it, next time we go. It's the same as a throw. If you throw a stupid throw, you don't do it intentionally. So we're working as a group. We work together, and he has confidence in us. And when Faf has to kick, nobody stresses. We move on because he's going to be, maybe he's good on the day.
Thank you.
Oh, amigo.
Thank you. Gentleman right at the back, please. Thank you for your patience.
Anyway, I hope you enjoyed those clips. The fourth one is obviously injuries. Eben Etzebeth coming off, Malcolm Marx coming off with a cut as well. Some worries, but I think the nice thing for the Boks at the moment is the fact that both those players weren't really expected to be playing this weekend against Romania, so you're probably going to see them rested anyway. We just heard today that Rossi Erasmus said that Eben's injury, they're just waiting for the scan, but they reckon it's around a 7 to 10 day injury, so that doesn't look too serious, so they can give him some time off, and he can now slowly concentrate on coming back for that Ireland game. Eben's a big part of this team. He's a big part of that pack. He's almost the heart and soul of that pack in a way. He's really major for the Boks, and they need him. And they also don't have too many options at 4. While somebody can fill in there, genuine 4 locks that they've got is John Klein's the only other one, and he had a bit of a knee niggle as well. So there is a little bit of concern there, but doesn't seem like they're too worried about it just at this point. So that's injuries are always going to be a concern, but at the moment it doesn't look too serious, and that's not a bad thing. The fifth one is obviously how wonderful they were on defence, in cutting off Finn Russell's oxygen, in hunting him down, in closing off the space. And I mean, we know how good he is when he has some space. He still had some beautiful touches, and they still had 1 or 2 sort of line breaks where they really look dangerous, and they're going to cause a lot of trouble for a lot of other teams in this competition. But I thought Peter Steph du Toit, Franco Mostert, the pack in particular, really Yeah, and the way the guys in the back line, Damon DeLenda and Jesse Kriel, sort of shot out of line and cut off that oxygen, really sort of stopped them from getting any space out wide, and really stopped Scotland's attack quite well. So I thought the defensive effort was amazing. I thought really they did well there, and they should take a bow for that, because that defensive effort, the way the Boks play at the moment, teams struggle with that rush defense. They struggle with the players shooting out like that. And yes, if you can get it past them, there's acres of space, but teams can't seem to get it past them at the moment, and that's a big thing.
Hi, Jimmy. Scotland has shown they're a very good attacking side. Are the South African a different level of defence than you usually see?
I wouldn't say a different level. I think it's a different style of defence than we probably face in a lot of the games that we play. They obviously come off the line really hard and try to put you under pressure there and leave a little bit of space out wide. So that was something that we were looking to try and exploit in terms of getting to that width. I just don't think we executed it as much or as well as we could have.
Six takeaways. Geez, how good is the speed in the team, from Kurt the Arendse to Cheslin Colby to Grant Williams when he came on, Damian Willemse. You've got some real good speed out there, and I'd love to see them get a run against Romania, and love to see them score some tries against Romania, for instance. But geez, when Grant Williams came on, that little burst of speed of his, and Cheslin's speed, and Curtie, taking the kick pass. There's so much flair in that back line at the moment, and there's so much for oppositions to worry about. And that's a huge asset for the Boks. They haven't really had that in the past. They've had different types of wingers, and it's so good to see that sort of the excitement in that back line. And the Boks still have more players that they haven't even used yet. I mean, you think a guy like Makazole Mapimpi hasn't been used. Kanan Moody's going to come back. They've got so many options out wide, and really looking at some beautiful some beautiful options there. And interestingly, one of the stats today. Against Scotland, the Boks ran 535 meters. Now, normally in a game it's about 230, 250. That's the normal one. So the Boks had a lot of running, and they moved the ball a lot wide. So that was one of the great things to see, is that they're not scared in such a pressure game, to take on the opposition out wide. And that's something you don't see often. And I think that's going to keep them in good stead as well. And the last takeaway would be, some of the disco lights. I'm probably going to do something a bit separate about that at some stage as well. But it's interesting to see the Boks return to the disco lights. It's interesting to see the reaction of course. And to me, it's quite funny, because Rassie and Jacques are living rent free in the guys' heads. Every week, it's something else that the rest of the rugby world, trying to focus on the Springboks, where they carry on winning, and it's rather interesting to see how they sort of, some of the media questions have been falling over themselves on that. But you got to give them credit. The guys keep them talking. They keep them talking about everything other than rugby, and they're living rent free in their heads. And I think for an opposition coach, when you're trying to figure all these things out, the Boks have got a pretty direct game plan. They know what they're doing, and they're pretty difficult to plan against at the moment. They always say you have to front up physically. That's quite difficult against this pack, and if you do, they do have options out wide. And tactically, they've got some different options. Look, there are definitely work-ons, and there are definitely some points that the Boks need to improve on. But they're keeping the opposition talking. They're keeping the World Cup interesting, and they're keeping opposition and international rugby writers asking strange questions and everything except rugby. And I must admit, I'm quite enjoying that. So for those of us in South Africa, we've seen the disco lights before. It's just an upgraded version. It's the 2023 version of it. I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't see how. I just think it's something new, and those guys aren't used to it. And they. Imagine, I saw this take here, which I'm going to put on the screen now. It was probably one of the best ones from Tom from Three Red Kings, Munster fan blog, and he said, imagine if they discover walkie-talkies. Imagine the messages they could get through there. So again, a storm in a teacup, and a bit ridiculous, but it's something that keeps everyone talking. Anyway, those are my 7 takeaways. Tell me what you thought. I hope you enjoyed the game. Boks are looking good. They're looking like they're quite confident, and they're going to go into this next. Now it's up to the fringe players to come in and do their job and make sure that the campaign keeps momentum against Romania, and then obviously the big one against Ireland. So, but for the first weekend, very satisfied, mission accomplished. You can't fault anything that happened there for the Springboks, and I think while the scoreline we would have liked more tries, we would have liked better. Scotland are a very, very good team, and that was a very, very good victory over them, especially considering the circumstances and how Scotland came into that game. So yeah, I'm very satisfied for that, and looking forward to that, guys. Also, thanks for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And if there's anything you want me to cover, please put in the comments below. I read them all. And yeah, great chatting to you again. Chat soon. Cheers.